guys, thanks so much. As Jared just mentioned, I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the journey to acquiring Zoocasa, and not really Zoocasa itself. So jumping right in, the arrow? No. Got it, okay. Tech isn't really my thing. Okay, put it up, sweet, okay. Okay, so here's how it all started. This is me, 18 years old at Queen's University studying commerce, and I needed a summer job. I had experience doing exactly one thing, which was door knocking. I'd spent previous summers knocking on doors, canvassing for political parties, trying to get signs onto lawns. Unfortunately, canvassing via volunteer wasn't going to pay for tuition. So I had heard a little bit about a company called College Pro Painters. And College Pro said that you could earn $13,000 in a summer, double what I'd make as a lifeguard, so obviously I jumped in. And I truly think that it's with this paintbrush in hand, this is getting really awkward, but okay, so I had a paintbrush. But it was yielding that paintbrush that I learned the foundations to basic business practice. You see, at College Pro, you've got to market, you've got clients, you've got to paint jobs, and then you've actually got to collect money from your customers. You learn a little bit of everything. I learned 3 key things that first summer, and it all worked around leads, productivity of your team, and profit. The first one was easy. Leads was all about knocking on doors. I knocked on doors, and I knew that within a certain number of hours, I could build my funnel. I'd get this many leads. And then I could take that and get a certain percentage of estimates. Certain percentage of estimates were going to turn into certain jobs booked, and then those jobs booked would turn into actual dollars. The second lesson was just a little bit harder. You see, in production, the best story, actually, I'll just go back. My very first, one of my first, and my biggest paint job to date, I had all 4 of my crews, that's 10 painters, at one house. We started at 7 a.m., everyone's painting, we had the radio going, it was awesome. Till the owner got home after work and told us that we painted the entire house the wrong color. I learned some really good lessons that day about cost management, but also around productivity of your team and how important it was that they had the right systems, the right tools, and the right environment to be able to be productive. And then finally, the third rule, and one that we need to spread a little bit, I think, in the tech community, is that revenue doesn't just become profit. We actually have to have a monetization strategy, a budget, and job costing. At the end of that first summer, I net $45,000. And at 18, that was a heck of a lot of money. So you can be sure I was hooked on entrepreneurship and being an employer. After a couple years of doing College Pro, I teamed up with my first partner, James Laird, and we put together $100,000 of our business, $100,000 of profit, and decided to jump in instead of becoming accountants, although I know they're really fun. We jumped into doing something we knew. I understood franchising from College Pro. College Pro was great with the franchise. Here's a market, here's our product, just go and do it. So I did that with Oxford Learning, and within 2 years, following their system, I had the second biggest center across Canada. But it was so safe. So we wanted to do something in parallel. We wanted to invest in one of those cool sounding startups. I saw Dan Eisner, my second partner, presenting at Dragon's Den, and being the avid cold caller that I was, called him up, and being the optimistic 22-year-old that I was, thought I could convince him that we were the ones to invest in his company and take it across the country. Well, fast forward a couple years later, and we had locations from coast to coast, and we were doing over $1 billion in funded mortgages annually. This was awesome, except we knew that we were spending far too much money buying leads from other companies. So enter my third critical partnership with Alyssa Richard, the CEO of RateHub.ca. RateHub is an online lead generator in the financial services marketplace. We started in mortgage lead generation for brokers. I was then, and I am now, founding investor, and an active director. And over the years, I've watched and learned how to generate leads online, and then how to actually turn them into dollars, and the importance of SEO and the power that it yields. So I wanted to take all of this. We had this humming online lead generator, and we had this offline sales brokerage, and we wanted to duplicate it across into a new industry. Enter residential real estate. The $13 billion market had us a bit intrigued. So what we did is I jumped in and I started yet again knocking on doors. I was a frontline realtor with the cheesy mugshot and business cards to prove it. And I learned what this big industry was all about. I didn't think that I could just get in and overnight disrupt this market. I wanted to know why the Goliaths in this industry are so big, so profitable, and to this day have amazing inertia. So I did that. We took some learning from real estate. I took Oxford with education, True North Mortgage Brokerage, and we took the learnings at RateHub and launched SCHOLARHOOD.CA. And what we did at SCHOLARHOOD was overlay home listings with school zone data to generate leads online to sell through our real estate to sell with our new real estate team. It was really exciting, and I thought I had the model. It was just so slow. So we were driving leads and we were learning and we knew what we could do with SEO, but it was just the time was ticking and it was boring. And now 12 years and 6 businesses into my career, I got what I consider my very, very, very lucky break. Rogers put Zoocasa.com up for sale in 2015. And I mean, as Jared alluded to, it is a very interesting story, one we can share over beers some other time. But what's amazing is at the end of it, we acquired this great brand, a national brand, an amazing domain. And wouldn't you know it, I started applying everything that we already knew. We just today, way to go team, launched our school zone. So you can see your school zones, your boundaries, along with the home listings. And we hope that it works as successfully as it did on SCHOLARHOOD. We're focusing on the lead funnel, a productive and awesome team, and we're hiring. And then also to make sure that we have a monetization strategy that's profitable, so we're actually here for the long run. I have no idea if we'll get all the kinks out. We totally will. We're hiring. Way to go, team. But really, the challenges are real, and I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks, guys.
Two questions.
Okay. I'll just slink away.
We got one over here.
Hi there. I'm a Queens grad. What would you say was your favorite thing about Queens?
Oh, awesome. This is super hard. Well, I should plug, I met my husband there, which is pretty awesome. And I also met James and Alyssa, my partners. So for me, Queens was the network.
Hey, so I know like one of the reasons Zoocasa ended up selling was because they had trouble innovating as a brokerage. How did you find innovation in that space? How were you able to change what they did to avoid their failures?
Yeah, I'm always tight with what I say. Rogers decided, and the PR went out, and they said that they got out of the business because they wanted to focus on their core competencies in the telecommunications space. So I'll just say I don't know what they did, but what we're doing to change it is we focus on really the cost of our customer acquisition. So we know what it costs to drive users to our website, and then what it costs to service them and hold their hands through actually meeting an agent and closing a deal. And for us, that doesn't involve millions of dollars in billboards.
We'll take one last one.
Zoocasa, what's the difference between Zoocasa and any other brokerage that has presence online? And again, lead generation and everything, but what's the difference? Why you think you're better?
Thanks. Great question. So there's a few things. Our real goal and our mantra is to be a smooth and seamless service from the first click all the way to closing. So a lot of people kind of focus on one section, so search alone, which we are actually the best at that too, so check it out. But search alone, or they focus on just the actual sales process. We like to focus on the entire journey, so holding our clients' hands from the first time a user imagines that they want to view a home all the way through to when they get their keys. The biggest thing, if we focus on the tech side here in search, is that it's got to be intuitive, it's got to be fast. If you say, hey, I want to know where my 8th grader and my 1st grader and they can go to school, and actually I kind of want to know what past sales have happened in that area, we're ready when Treb is. And they want that past sold data. Well, we've got all of that in one place now, and you can see it all tied together.
Thanks so much, Lauren.
Thanks.